Good evening. It is 7:12 p.m. On August 15th, and I hereby call to order the 2018 August meeting of the Village of Tivoli Board of Trustees. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. We will begin with a village clerk's report. Clerk Bruno, please.
Okay, there were 397 trash tags sold, 2 payrolls were processed. Deputy clerk attended 1 ZBA meeting. Yard sale day went well, but for community day and cleanup day, I think maybe you'd like to give the...
Thank you. Yes, I will. All right, thank you, Clerk Bruno. Trustees, we have 2 sets of meeting minutes, the July 18th regular board meeting minutes and the July 25th special meeting minutes in your binders. That special meeting was when we concluded seeker on wastewater. So you've had a chance to review those. I'll take a motion to approve both sets of minutes, please.
I move.
That was the deputy Mayor Major, followed by Trustee Ezrati. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Moving on to a treasurer's report. This month, out of the general fund, $52,773.93. Out of the water fund, $7,736.46. And out of the sewer fund, $5,765.78 for a grand total of $66,276.17. Is there a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
So moved.
That was Schneider, followed by Murphy. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
The treasurer's report is accepted. Is there a motion to pay the bills?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
That was Ezrati, followed by Major. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on to a zoning report. Trustee Ezrati.
Yes. I was going to be all ready for this, and I can't find the spot. Okay.
I know it came late in the day. So.
Okay. This is a report from John Fenton, our code enforcement officer. He reviewed and issued 2 building permits. He performed 3 building inspections. He received no complaints. He issued 3 zoning violations, specifically for failure to remove garbage cans from sidewalks and for failure to cut high grass. All 3 of those require an appearance at court. And he noted there are 0 court hearings scheduled for September 23rd. There was 1 municipal search, which is usually associated with a property transfer or modification. And 0 fire inspections were scheduled.
Thank you, Trustee Ezrati. I'm just going to mention 10 inches is the magic measurement for tall grass in Tivoli, and it's interesting to note the number of garbage can tickets is dropping. I think that probably is a good indication. We were up around 14 when we started our new law. Now it's 3. I think as I've seen, it's like 1 or 2 properties a week seem to have not gotten on board with it yet, but that's a good thing. So good thing the number's going down. Normally we would now move to public comment on agenda items, and we are without much public this evening after many months of them keeping us company, but it is a short agenda tonight. We have some budget mods. We are going to sell the old pickup truck, and we do have a large bid package to release, so we'll skip over the public comment and get right into business. So we'll begin with the budget modifications. This is resolution 45. Trustees, we went over this in the workshop. Primarily, the big expense here is we did complete that 265-foot run of sidewalk on Broadway east of the bridge. Came out very nicely. And that is costing us $24,925. That's all coming out of a fund balance. We have the money there, moving it into streets to pay the construction.
So what was the total length of the sidewalk that we put in?
265 feet.
Right?
Yep, and then if we do another 200 next year, we'll make it to Clay Hill Road, so. And a couple other small items related to the asphalt paving and the rental of the roller, and then, as we said in the workshop, more costs associated with the seeker process on water and sewer, which reminds me of something I forgot to tell you in the workshop, which is that we are still waiting to hear on the grant submitted jointly by the village and the DCWWA to the county's municipal shared services and consolidation grant program, which would offset 50% of the transfer costs. So we should find out soon, and we hope we get that one. All right, so those are the budget modifications. Is there a motion to adopt these budget mods?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Just want to thank both Clerk Bruno and Treasurer Day for pulling those modifications together, and I did review them at the end, but they kind of lay everything out for me and make it easy, so I appreciate that. All in favor?
Aye.
Budget modifications are adopted. Next, we have Resolution 46, authorizing the sale of surplus items of the Village of Tivoli. The Village of Tivoli DPW Superintendent has recommended the disposition of surplus equipment. This is a 2007 Ford 350 pickup truck. It's a 4x4 automatic transmission, diesel. It only has 58,200 miles on it, but it looks like it has about 500,000 miles on it. It sounds like it has 500,000 miles on it, and it rides like that too. So it has some pretty serious damage in the bed. If you put anything heavier than a brick in there, you're going to see it. So fortunately, we have a new truck on the way. We're still waiting for it, but
You're a terrible salesman.
buyer beware. Trying to be honest.
Yeah.
Don't come back. Yes. Well, we'll see what we can get for it. We were surprised at what we got for our pickup truck about a year ago. So this will be replaced by a nice new 2018 truck. Is there a motion to authorize the auction of the 2007 Ford pickup? Is there a second?
Second.
That was the Deputy Mayor, followed by Trustee Schneider. And again, I'll be listing this with Absolute Auctions. As we discussed, they sold our last truck for us, and they take 10% on top of what the buyer's going to pay, so they get their money. So I hope we get a good value for it. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and thirdly and lastly, resolution authorizing the solicitation of public bids for 2018 Broadway Waterline Replacement Project. Over the last year, last winter, and the preceding 12 months, we had more water main breaks, as we often do. And some of you may recall that large one in front of the Troghaven pub where Broadway was heaving up. Yes, it was tremendous. Superintendent got us through that, essentially by closing some valves and cutting some what are normally loops in the water system and making them, dead ends. That's sort of okay for the time being. It's not something that should be permanently left that way. And it being the middle of winter, he said, I'm going to do this for now, but next summer you guys better restore these water mains and open those loops up. That's the best way for the system to function. So we have two areas. There's one essentially across Broadway at the mouth of Furrow Avenue, and there's another one down in front of St. Sylvia's Church there. This is a county road we're going through. There are high standards for flagging and traffic control and whatnot, so it does end up getting expensive. And we have some last minute spec changes to make on the diameter of that pipe, but we'll release this. And so, Council, I can adopt this as written. Do we need to change any language?
Let's see, we have a proceed with advertising for sealed bid substantially in accordance with specifications I think you might want to add following consultation with the engineers regarding the capital plan. So the discussion in workshop was to make sure that the type of pipe we're gonna be putting in this temporary, not temporary project, but this small project is gonna be consistent with the project that we're ultimately gonna wanna be doing.
Right.
So that we're not wasting.
Right, and so what that amounts to is eventually, as all our water lines are being replaced, the diameter of the water mains along Broadway, both along Broadway and crossing Broadway, are going to increase from 6 and 8 inches in places to 12 inches. So we're going to go ahead and make these two replacements 12 inches. So, and thank you, Trustee Murphy, for that in the workshop. All right, is there a motion to authorize the solicitation of public bids for the Broadway waterline replacement project?
So moved.
That was moved by Trustee Schneider. Is there a second?
Second.
That was seconded by Trustee Murphy. Is there any further discussion from the board?
No, but I mean, I think it's a good idea that we remain consistent with what our capital project is for this.
Absolutely.
So,
Yep.
so that we don't have to think twice.
Yes.
Eliminate those redundant expenses.
Measure once, measure twice, did once?
Yes, we have that.
Boom, what?
Roll call vote, please. Deputy Mayor Major,
Aye.
Trustee Israedi,
Aye.
Trustee Murphy,
Aye.
Trustee Schneider.
Aye.
I also vote aye. So we will be in touch with the engineers in the morning about those details on diameter and then get this bid package released. And I hope we get a lot of interest. And we'll get these water lines replaced this season before winter for sure. The next board meeting will be held Wednesday, September 19th, 2018 at 7 p.m., preceded by a workshop at 6 p.m. here at the historic Watsco-Peister Hall. And we have our regular workshop on September 12th, 2018 at 7 p.m. And trustees at that workshop, Michelle Zagorski will be coming in to speak with us as she does every year about the AUD of the 2017-18 fiscal year. Moving on to committee reports, Trustee Israedi.
Yes, I have a few things to say. Just a reminder that the Length of Service Award program that we have invested with RBC Wealth Management has enjoyed some good gains this year, and its total account value is just under $160,000. So we divide that by approximately 25, and that's creating a nice deferred award for their service. And we're looking for people who will volunteer to be EMTs and drivers and other things, so there's your incentive. The water and sewer report, the Ball Lot well was off for the entire month of July. The McKnight well was pumping at somewhere between 8,500 and 10,000 gallons per day. The 2 PW and the 5 PW were pumping at between 10 and 13,000, and looks like they were sort of spelling each other in various points during the week. The 4 PE is pumping just under 20,000, and the Woodmark well was pumping between 21 and 23,000 gallons per day. Total, I think this resulted in the water tower height being higher than usual, and part of that was because, if you haven't noticed it, we've had some rain. We didn't have much in June, but July made up for it, and August is going to be a bumper month. I saw on the Weather Channel the other day that New York has something like 8 inches above its usual annual, or its seasonal rainfall to now. And we've actually reached our usual annual
Oh, wow.
rainfall. So, any guesses for what July was?
5.4.
6.
6.1.
5.2.
Well, it says here 4, but I know on one day I got 2.75 in my garden, so I'm wondering about that number.
Congratulations, Gina.
Sorry for the loss.
I don't believe
Nice
we
try.
had any water main breaks, which is a good thing,
Right, so
and,
I think that one's gonna show up on the next month's report, because there was.
okay, and the water.
Welcome to the board meeting. You just keep that door cracked a little bit for us, thank you.
And the usual water testing was done. I need to amplify my comments because we are now just about a month behind the Street Painting Festival, which is going to happen on the 29th of September this year. I've been blessed with a whole lot of help. The library board has really engaged, and they've already found the apples in the water and a number of other things. We've connected with Joe Tobin, and he is lining up bands, and he's going to start the music a little early this year, just because that's when people seem to be doing the most work. We've been talking about perhaps having a theme for this year's street painting. We have a new bridge in town, and the idea of street painting being a bridge making activity in many ways appeals to me. So we're going to start to work on that. We have Felicia Keesing has done some very beautiful posters, which you'll see shortly, as well as 1,000 postcards. So any volunteers to distribute those are welcome. One thing that I would really urge, we've had some of our local businesses step up to a slightly higher giving rate this year. But we do have one of our larger givers who is struggling. They failed to give any donation last year. And so I've doubled my request to them, but I don't have high hopes. Anyway, $25 from individuals, very, very welcome, and does a lot to help us make the festival a little better. We've ordered the paint. The paint's actually been delivered, and we've ordered the chalk. So we're gonna do it regardless, but it would be good to get some additional donations.
Wonderful, thank you. And that was the 29th. 29th of September.
Last Saturday in September, unless we need a rain date.
Great, thank you, trustees, right?
Bets are off.
Trustee Schneider, please.
Certainly. So the Village of Tivoli summary Justice Court report here. Total charges received were 18, disposed were 27, and $1,987 was collected and forwarded to the State Comptroller's Office.
Thank you. Trustee Murphy?
So I'd like to report that we've had a lot of positive reviews about the summer program, recreation, from parents, also from kids. My kid said it was good. I was like, okay. So, but last week the Cats Bond was really awesome enough to offer the kids to go again for another visit,
That was
which
fun.
I think was great. Joel,
Did you see the ballet? Did you like it?
yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you, Cosmo.
Yes, definitely. And the library just did breakout boxes with the groups today, which I heard was really a lot of fun.
What is a breakout box?
Breakout box is like an escape room. Do you know what an escape room is?
I've heard a little
So you just have a box with a bunch of locks on it, and you have to figure out the clues in order to figure out the codes. So they did that in 3 different groups, age appropriately. And also, I'd like to reach out and thank the American Legion for offering to do a pizza party last Friday at the end of the week, and then this Friday again at the end of the week. It's really awesome fun.
Right.
So,
Yeah, we pointed out to them that some participants are only there for the first week or the second week, and so they said, well, then we'll come both Fridays,
we'll do both.
so that every kid gets some
It's
pizza.
pretty amazing,
Yeah.
so pretty great.
Good.
So yeah, that's it.
Great.
That's my update.
Thank you, Trustee Murphy. Deputy Mayor Major, please.
Okay, so the library, again, is awesome. With the weekly events like Retro Game Night on Mondays and Magic the Gathering events on Tuesdays, Hooks and Needles, Yarns and Thread, which at this point I feel like I don't need to fluff that up anymore. Everybody knows. 10 to 2 on Thursdays, bring your fibers. And also on Fridays, there's an event, second and fourth Fridays of the month until the end of October. It's called the Garden Hour over at the community garden, where you can bring your tools and just get dirty. There are passes available for Olana and also for the Mid-Hudson Children's Museum that you can check out at the circulation desk. And I had no idea, but the Children's Museum in Poughkeepsie is awesome. So if you've not been, go and grab the passes and check it out. And this coming Tuesday at 4 p.m. there's an event called Fun Food Science. And the tagline is, play with your food. And also there will be chemistry. So Montgomery Place has 2 events or 2 exhibits going on. The grounds are open every day from dawn to dusk, and that's free. But they have an exhibit of historic gardening tools in the greenhouse, which is pretty neat, and another exhibit running until October 31st, which is called Trees Under Threat, Pets and Diseases That Endanger Our Trees Today. That might be informative and depressing. And Claremont is continuing their Summer Harmonies series. Thursday nights, free concerts, bring a blanket, bring your picnic. Children are welcome, and the concerts begin at 6. And on September 8th, they're running a program called We Can Pickle That.
What can't you do?
Well, let's find out. So it's 1 to 3, September 8th. It's $10 for grown-ups, free for kids, and the idea is that they will show you how to safely ferment garden fresh produce, and you can take it home with you. I don't know. That's pretty much it. Ticks, poison ivy, and the canoe launch is still out. That's it for the
Are
environment.
they getting closer with the canoe launch?
Probably not till spring.
Oh, wow.
No, it's a whole big mess with.
Even the DEC has to get permits from themselves.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor. I want to start with Tivoli Community Day, which was on August 4th, and amazingly, the weather cooperated. It was very stressful leading right up to that morning, I would say, having to call whether to proceed or not. But because the band couldn't play on the rain date, nor could Pete Monty take our group photo, I said, why do we have a pavilion if not to proceed whether it rains or not? So. But we didn't have to use a pavilion all day. It was great fun. I want to thank everyone who helped, the Tivoli Free Library, the Harris Smith Post, the American Legion, the Masons, our Tivoli Community Day Committee, Jackie Zacco, Sharon Warnfeld, Tom Christie, Dennis Griffin, Laura and Michelle from the library. We had additional volunteers who really dug in and helped out, Pete Walsh, Glenn and Leslie Baker, and thank you to the Tivoli Fire Department, and especially Jeremy Moore, who I think really had a lot of fun out there on the relay course with the rolling up the hose race and running the fireman's gear race and
Dousing the children.
dousing the children with the hose, which is a lot of fun. Or not just all the children, right?
No.
Us as well, half the board, I think. So it was a wonderful day, and that's the 4th of our sort of resurrected Tivoli Community Days. Next year is going to be a big deal because next year, I've learned, is the centennial of both the Tivoli Fire Department and the Harris Smith Post of the American Legion. So we're gonna have to have a bigger party for those two celebrations, and there's a lot of talk about trying to bring back a parade on Broadway. I've been told by Tom Senior that he's going to hijack Tivoli Day. I said, great, I'll be happy to help and let you do that. So what we're doing is we're forming a committee that's going to start meeting in September. I have 2 people so far. So I am looking for volunteers who are going to work with the village and the library and the fire department and the American Legion. And if we're going to come back that much bigger and move our annual celebration out of the park and back onto Broadway, we're going to need a lot of help. So if you're interested in serving, it should be a fun committee to be on. We're going to take 10 or 11 months and try and bring back the parade, and that would be fitting for year 5 of this new tradition.
I've heard over the years that the true signature of this parade is Phyllis Palmer pushing her lawnmower down the road. Is that true?
You're referring to the Ladies with Lawnmowers float,
Yes.
which was in a number of Tivoli Day parades, and it was Phyllis, and I remember one year there must have been 16 women out there, and someone was leading, or bringing up the rear on the backhoe, right?
Yeah.
The banner is still in the garage, so we might be able to get the band back together.
Yeah, so, some of the ideas, I'm not promising anything yet, because we gotta get that committee together, but, float contest seems pretty easy and fun, so please, if you're interested, contact me. I want to put you on that committee, and we're going to have a tremendous Tivoli Day in 2019. Shortly thereafter, we had another wonderful event, which was the first in years and years and years, decades and decades, Tivoli Cleanup Day. Some called Junk Day, but we tried to call it Cleanup Day. I especially want to thank Glenn and Leslie Baker, who worked with me over the last several months to work that out. And we had, correct me if I'm wrong, Robin, it's over 40 participants, right? We got around
Between 50 and 55.
50 and 55, yes. We had a lot of late signups, and I also want to thank you. I had said we're closing on Wednesday so we can get that list, but people kept finding you every which way you turned, and we tried to sign up everyone that we could, even up to that morning.
Yes.
Yes, so thank you for doing that. So 55 participants throughout the village, and I don't have all my numbers yet, and next month I look forward to doing a sort of like Harper's by the numbers on Cleanup Day, but I know we did approximately 11 tons of stuff, and among those were 67 tires and 43 mattresses, and I think it'd be interesting to break that out even further. I think it's extremely likely that we will do this again next year. It may be tweaked a little bit. We also had a number of volunteers helping collect e-waste throughout the day. We got a number of e-waste items, and so it was highly successful. And I think trustees, other than cleaning up the huge March blizzard from 2 years ago, when we focused and we spent the money and we brought people in and we got Broadway cleaned between Tuesday and Friday.
Yeah.
That was the only other time I've gotten anything close to the level of residents saying, thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's remember that. This is a service that was deeply, deeply appreciated.
And people prepared for it. They were setting stuff aside, so it was really good.
It was great.
The great unburdening of 2018.
Yes. I want to let folks know that our friends and neighbors in Red Hook are having their annual Hardscrabble Day on September 15th. That's a Saturday. And some or all of your village board will be marching in the parade. I want to thank Red Hook for the invitation to participate. We'll be there in our blue to better foil their red. Also, as Trustee Israedi said, street painting comes up shortly thereafter on the 29th of September. With that, we would like to open the floor to public comment, as we always do. And if there are any members of the public who would like to talk to the board about anything or ask us any questions, we'd be happy to speak with you. See, we're all looking at you because have you had a good summer in Tivoli? What did you do in Tivoli this summer?
I went to the Tivoli Rec.
Uh-huh.
and I went to history camp. And I went to Rochester to visit my aunt and uncle.
Great. Were you at Tivoli Community Day?
Yeah, that was really fun.
Oh, yeah? What did you enjoy?
I enjoyed getting sprayed by the hose.
Me
It
too.
was a hot day.
It was a hot day. So we all said thank you to the fire department, didn't we? For bringing their hose truck.
Yep.
Well, good. I'm glad you had a good summer in Tivoli. We have as well. Any other public comment? Any further discussion from the board on any topic? It's August, you know. It's okay. We've
Had
been
some long
working.
meetings, so I think a
Yes.
short one is.
A short meeting's okay, so I shouldn't keep talking. I should let this adjourn.
Just let it go.
Okay, well, as we do adjourn, I do have to do it on a serious note. There were two much-loved and respected members of this community who we lost since our last meeting. And I would like to ask for a motion that we adjourn in fond memory of Robert Waterhouse and Barry Koblinski. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.